A topic such as this, it's not really anything new, but it doesn't mean we can't have some fun with it. I love me some Zelda, and there are a lot of Zelda games out there, and pretty much all of them have glitches and exploits. 3D Zeldas are more my field of expertise, so I'm going to focus on those. Also, these tricks are listed in no particular order. Some of them are really well known, some are quite useful, and some are just downright useless, but amusing all the same. Let's start with a useful one. Oh, yeah, and get ready for some potential mispronunciations. Majora's Mask, my personal favorite. You can use a bomb to access Great Bay without Epona as long as you've already acquired the Goron Mask. As a side note, as far as I can tell, you can't do this in the 3DS version of the game. If you place a bomb next to the fence on the beach in Termina Field and then immediately transform into Goron Link, you can use his ground pound attack as a jump. While you're at the highest point in the air, release the A button, and if you've timed it right, you'll come out of the curl and the explosion will knock you over the fence. Easy as that. Now then, while we're here, we can pay Mikau a visit for some entertainment. As long as you haven't yet collected the Zora mask, Mikau will be chilling in the water a little ways offshore. Don't worry, we're gonna rescue him, in a manner of speaking. So for some reason, you have to go deeper into the water to activate the swimming animation than you do swimming out to activate the walking animation. If you stop pushing Mikau just short of the shore, you can exit and re-enter the water far enough to get behind him. When the action icon says grab, you'll then be forced to shore, carrying the poor fella over your head. Okay, so this is actually a really cool and extremely helpful trick, and it applies to both the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. So the timing is different for each game, but you can almost combine a jump slash with a spin attack, which can in a lot of situations allow you to land 2 hits where you'd normally only get 1. If you didn't know, spinning the joystick 360 degrees and then swinging the sword will initiate an instant spin attack without having to charge it up. Even in the 64 Zeldas, this will do a magic spin attack without actually using magic. Now then, going back to the combo attack, here's a good example in Wind Waker. We can kill 2 tricks with 1 stone. Well over a decade after the game came out, someone posted a video showing that you can kill Calais Demos in 1 hit with Forest Haven water. Pretty neat, but the same can still be achieved with the use of the jump slash spin attack combo. Boom, done. Twilight Princess HD has a more tedious timing on when you initiate the spin attack, and requires some precision. In Wind Waker, HD or not, you can just spin the stick and mash the B button during the jump slash animation, and it will pretty much always activate the second you land. But here, you'll have to practice a little. Unless you're playing on the Wii, where you just shaky. In the end, the result is the same. You can eliminate enemies quicker, and it's so satisfying. Here's a useless one. I used to do this shit right here all the time as a kid. So when you're fighting Ganon at the end and you've knocked him down for the first time, stay outside of the Ring of Fire after you've grabbed the Master Sword. Use an arrow to shoot Ganon's tail, which will reinitiate the battle. As the fire reignites, the game forces you back into the arena and you get this amusing display. While on the subject of Ocarina of Time, Did I say Ocarina? Is it Ocarina? On the subject of Ocarina of Time, many of the glitches in question are in this game. But here's one exclusive to the 3DS. You can clip Link's arm through walls to hookshot yourself into certain areas early. As long as the wall in question is on your right, take aim with the hookshot and then constantly spam the left bumper while holding right on the joystick. This will cause Link to move just a tad further over than he's supposed to be able to, and his arm will then be able to go through the wall when back in first person. Convenient, right? Ooh. I'm a little bit disappointed in not having a whole lot to offer when it comes to Skyward Sword. It may be the black sheep of the Zelda franchise, but I still allowed myself to enjoy it. This game should have been called The Legend of Zelda: What Were You Gonna Say? My favorite thing about this game is its story and level of character development. You actually get to be with Zelda at the end, instead of just being thanked. But anyway, the bad shit starts to happen right before she utters something that could probably be called a confession. So you're sitting there like, wait, what? No, what the fuck? Hold on, wait a sec. What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? What were you gonna say? And then every time throughout the game during those moments when you briefly see her, you're on the edge of your seat thinking, hold that thought, Impa. What were you gonna say before? What were you gonna say? It's all that really matters. You must know. Link must know. So anyway, at the beginning of the game, Zelda's room is locked, but you can still get in. And then what's she gonna say? You can phase through the wall directly onto Zelda's bed, through Karane's room. Karane. With enough persistence, you can sit in this chair. And then, after you stand up, you can hop to the other side of the room by playing The Floor is Lava. Once you're standing on the loft wing beanbags, you can then access the sleep function on Zelda's bed. After you wake up though, you're stuck in her room. She'll be back. Back to Wind Waker for a moment. This is a real quick one. Well, it can be quick if you know what you're doing. The ramp just up the first set of stairs at the Forsaken Fortress peers over a set of 3 windows. With a precise jump, you can land in the first window, giving you immediate access to the only searchlight that you actually need to disable. After you've killed the guard, you can either head back down by the ladder or make that same jump again, and be done with the Forsaken Fortress segment pretty quickly from there. Transitioning now from hard to harder, this little Ocarina of Time maneuver is an actual glitch. First, warm up a Kakariko Village Cuckoo to the brink of being pissed off with a few swings of the sword. Now for the tricky part. You've got to throw the little guy onto the rim of the well, then get Link to climb onto the rim, position yourself to face the cuckoo, and then jump slash it over the water, all before it stops hopping in place. The window for this is stressful, but if done right, the cuckoo will cry out for help, and the cutscene it creates in doing so allows Link to descend to the bottom of the well. Swim towards the entrance as soon as you've regained control, and you'll be able to grab the Lens of Truth without ever having to drain the well. Here's another one from Twilight Princess, and it will work in all versions of the game. You can actually cross this pit of quicksand as a doggo to get to the boss key by constantly hitting the attack button until Link climbs the far ledge. It's a little anticlimactic though, because it's definitely more fun to do all the Beyblading instead. Now, exclusive to the Wii version of the game, while you're in the Goron Mines, you can walk around at normal speed on a number of the magnetized surfaces. After equipping the Iron Boots, while you're swiveling through the air in the magnetic beam, pause and relocate the boots to a different slot on the D-pad. When you unpause, Link will still be pulled the rest of the way through the beam and land on the magnetic surface with normal boots on. This was an amazing time saver back in the day, but sadly no longer applies in HD. Yeah! Time to revisit the ever so useful jump slash, this time in the ever so present Ocarina of Time. They did something to the walls in the 3DS version. Link's sword no longer bounces off of them in places that it used to. Anyway, once you reach the top floor of the Deku Tree where you break through the first web, you can center Link in front of the hole that you just climbed up, face towards it, and then... Nice and quick. And we're now in the room with the next glitch. Also exclusive to the original version of the game, correctly pulling this off is horrendously tedious, at least for me. Link will have to get hit by this gold Skulltula hanging from the vines of the hole he just fell down by falling again. So what are you doing exactly? Well, have Link grab onto the vines and climb up the narrow left side of Mr. Gold there. Get right above his ass and climb exactly 15 paces, no exceptions. Normally if you let go while holding forward on the joystick, Link will eventually catch himself a ways down. When you do this 15 paces above the Skulltula, I assume some weird combination of Link getting hit while catching himself is happening. And if you angle the joystick in a very specific spot up and to the left, Link will fly through the wall and land out of bounds in the water. Performing any of these steps wrong will result in him either not clipping quite far enough or overshooting the water, since it doesn't go very far outside the boundary. But hey, if you get it right on the first try, you save a lot of time. Swim to the room right outside of Goma's lair, and boom! 23 is number 1. I think I want to end on Breath of the Wild, so let me knock out this last one from Ocarina of Time. I happened to discover this glitch on my own one time during a playthrough, but I found out shortly thereafter that I wasn't the first. Nevertheless, it is easily my favorite from Ocarina. When you get to Ganon's castle, find that Spirit Temple door and never look back. Inside the first room, have Link grab that statue and push it towards the door. Once it's positioned just a little offset like this, you're going to use that move again. If done correctly, Link phases through the door into a black abyss. The barrier doesn't register in this plane of existence, and thankfully Link is only one door down from where you started. So listen carefully and walk until you hear the pitter-patter of the main entrance carpet. Turn directly around and walk into Ganon's main tower without having to complete a single barrier trial. Alright, Breath of the Wild. I'm not sure that this trick is necessarily the best for last, but it certainly has the potential to be the most useful. This game is monstrous in size. I remember how amazingly big Hyrule Field was in Twilight Princess when it came out, but even that map is a fraction of the size of the one in this game. If you have the ancient dirt bike, you can get around pretty quick without having to fast travel, but if you want to go even faster, give this a shot. You'll need a shield, a bow, a bokoblin, and some sort of high ground. You'll need to be above the bokoblin and have him in range to be jumped on. And if he absolutely won't sit still, you can freeze him first. Anyway, get ready. This can be pretty challenging to pull off. Shit! Have Link jump off of the ledge and immediately execute a shield surf.
The root's protection is now ready to roll.
Draw your bow shortly before landing on the bokoblin, and for some reason, when you make contact with him during bullet time, Link will fly away with ridiculous momentum and speed. Once I've played through a Zelda game a few times, I try to look for new ways to beat it. I think everyone does, and these kinds of shenanigans are fantastic contributors to finding something new. the best part is that there are many more exploits beyond what I've shown here. Try some of these if you haven't. From one Zelda fan to all of you, never stop adventuring.